Do you ever find yourself struggling with something in Rocket League, wondering, how do other players handle this situation? Well, good, because this series is designed to answer exactly that question about every part of Rocket League. However, we're not just going to talk about any player, we're going to talk about Squishy Muffinz himself. This is, what would Squishy do? So in this first video, we're just going to focus on how Squishy handles kickoffs in 2v2s and 3v3s. We're not going to look at 1v1s at all, because they're a totally different beast that basically needs their own entire video. We'll first look at what Squishy does when he takes a kickoff, so when he's the player going for the ball, and then we'll look at what he does when he's not taking the kickoff. When Squishy takes a kickoff, it doesn't actually matter whether he's playing 2s or 3s, he does the same thing pretty much every single time. He speed flips to the right. Here's what a Squishy speed flip kickoff looks like slowed down. And that's it. That's Squishy's kickoff right there. It's a speed flip. And 99% of the time, it's a right speed flip. So a speed flip where he diagonally flips to the right. The only other thing to know about Squishy's speed flip is that he almost always aims for the middle of the ball, not the sides. I think he does this because it's the safest option. If you aim for the middle of the ball, your chances of losing the kickoff are extremely low. And that's actually the most important thing with kickoffs. You just don't want to lose them. Winning them is great, but not losing them, that's probably the most important thing. If you can't yet do a speed flip and you want to learn, unfortunately I haven't made a video about this yet, although I do plan to. But in the meantime, you guys can learn the way I did by watching some of the great tutorials on YouTube. I'll link one of my favorites above and a few in the video description, so go check those out if you want to learn. It's a really great mechanic to add to your game, not just during kickoffs, but all over the field. Okay, now let's talk about when Squishy isn't taking the kickoff. So firstly, what are our options when not taking the kickoff? Well, we basically have 3 options. The first is to cheat. Cheating, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, is when you basically follow the player going for the kickoff, like you're backing him up. You don't try to get the ball before him or at the same time as him. You just want to get close to the ball and be ready to take control after his kickoff, or block a shot coming from the other guy that's cheating on the other team. Our second option is to collect a full boost pad. It's pretty straightforward. If you're on the left, usually you'll go for the back left boost pad. And if you're on the right, you'll go for the back right boost pad. You can do this by half flipping if the boost is directly behind you, or if you're on the left or right in the middle, you can just turn and drive towards it. Our third option is kind of a slow cheat. It's basically to collect a couple of boost pads and stay around the middle of the field. It's like a slow cheat or a defensive cheat. Oh, and by the way, you'll notice that I didn't include on this list the option to sit in goal. And that's because I've literally never seen Squishy do this. And I don't recommend that you do it if you want to play like the pros do. Okay, now let's find out which of these Squishy does in 2v2s and 3v3s. We'll start with 2s. In 2v2s, it's really quite simple. 90% of the time, he does our first option. He cheats. And he does a fast cheat. Here's how Squishy cheats. First, he boosts and front flips, using about 15 boost. Then he collects small boost pads as he drives up to the kickoff. This end portion of the cheat depends entirely on the outcome of the kickoff, so let's ignore this part. And in 2v2s, it doesn't seem to matter whether Squishy's in the middle on the sides or right at the back, he cheats every single time. The only consistent exception I could find to this was when both Squishy and his teammate are on the sides at the front. Then Squishy half flips for the corner boost behind him. In 3v3s, kickoffs are a little more complicated. There's one player taking the kickoff, as always, but then there's 2 players not taking the kickoff. For the 2 players not taking the kickoff, there can often be confusion about who should cheat and who should go for the corner boost. And since there's not really a commonly used quick chat command to quickly communicate what you're planning to do, most players, Squishy included, follow the left goes rule. So the left goes rule states that the players on your left take priority when taking the kickoff and cheating. However, there's also a basic order of priority from closest to the ball to furthest from the ball, with players at the front sides taking priority over players in the middle. So if you're at the front on the left, you take the kickoff every single time because you're the closest to the ball and the furthest to the left. And if you're all the way at the back in the middle, you'll get the corner boost every time because you're the furthest player from the ball. Here's a few more examples so you can get a really clear idea of your role in each position. And that's it. That's the end of the first episode of What Would Squishy Do? I'm not sure what I'm going to cover in the next episode of this, but if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments, because I'll pick the most popular one. And like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more videos like this, as well as a whole bunch of other Rocket League content. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.